China is relaxing its family planning policy. Couples will be allowed to have up to 3 children. The major policy shift aims to tackle challenges posed by an aging population. Now, despite efforts to encourage childbirth, a record low of 12 million babies were born last year. By 2050, a third of Chinese are forecast to be elderly. China enforced a controversial one-child policy for more than 40 years. It was eased 5 years ago to allow for 2 children. Olivia Xiong joins us now from Beijing for more. Olivia, is this reversal of policy, is it going to be enough to help reverse the low birth rate that China is seeing?
Well, Dawn, that's the big question, isn't it? But experts so far have said that they do think that the impact is going to be quite limited. And we do have to remember that this is not the first time that China is choosing to relax its birth policy. Chinese couples for decades had been limited by the one-child policy as the government felt that the population was growing too quickly. And back then, we were talking about fines and we heard of people losing their jobs for flouting the rules. And it was only in 2016 that the government relaxed that policy to allow couples to have up to 2 children. But so far, we have seen in government data that this has not reversed the demographic trends and this aging population and falling birth rate that we are seeing here in China. In fact, when China released its population census a few weeks ago, we saw that the population grew at its slowest rate in the last decade since the 1950s. Also, the number of births continued to fall to 12 million babies born last year, and that's down from 18 million in 2016 when this birth policy was relaxed. And the question really is why. Some analysts say that this is due to attitudes being shaped and the attitudes towards childbearing being shaped as China's economy continues to develop. And of course, many couples have pointed to cost as well.
Well, it is a major shift, to be sure, but how are people reacting to it, Ollie?
Well, the latest move is certainly causing a lot of chatter, especially in the social media realm on Chinese social media platform Weibo. This topic has shot to the top of its most hotly discussed topics. At one point, Chinese state media Xinhua was running a poll in which it asked netizens, are you ready for this latest change for this 3-child policy? And interestingly enough, the top response out of the 4 options that had been presented was no, not considering this at all. And this poll has since been removed. Some other locals we spoke to directly as well said that while this move may allow people to exercise their right to have another child, to have a 3rd child, many of them said that they would not be considering this because there are too many pressures and it just costs too much to raise a child here in China at the moment. Have a listen.
2个，我觉得2个正好啊。3个的话怎么说呢？一个是要人看，再一个就是还有经济，就是怎么说压力太大吧，一句话。
因为我可能就是从小就是家里独生子女，所以我也不知道生了3个孩子怎么办。
Now, China's government has said that supportive measures will be announced, even though it hasn't specified what exactly these would be. But it would seem that authorities are very keen and they know it's an urgent, pressing task to get its birth rate up, especially as this would have an impact on its workforce as well as its economy down the road. Dawn?
All right, Olivia, thank you very much for that. Olivia Xiong there in Beijing.